Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another CRN broadcast here tonight. We have the National Sim Racing Retro Cup Series Gen 4 Open Setup League from Bristol International Speedway, or Bristol Motor Speedway. Sorry about that. Kind of jumbled up my words there. It's been a long day at work. But nonetheless, we are here at Bristol Motor Speedway for 500 laps of pure adrenaline. The world's fastest half mile. You see it there, 0.52 of a mile. Track temperature is going to be a whopping 89 degrees. Air temp is going to be 83 with a 4-mile-an-hour wind. My name is Dylan for the CRN broadcast crew. Going to bring you the full 500-mile race here tonight. It's definitely going to be a doozy. Not a big studded field here. Looks to be about 13 to 14 people out here to compete for 500 laps. Practice is just about over with. We have 1 more minute left into practice as you get a good look at the big Jumbotron right there in the middle of the screen. But you get to look and see what Bristol Motor Speedway looks like out here tonight. Daniel Molnick so far fastest on the track with a 14.594. Alexander Encarnacio putting up a time 0.013 behind Daniel Molnick. Stoney Bedfield is going to round out your top 3. 4th will be Patrick Gentner. In rounding out your top 5 will be Mark Sikochi. 6th will be Matty Clark. 7th, Justin Cope. 8th, Andy Reeves. 9th will be a newcomer, Patrick Stein, in that number 33 machine. 10th will be Brian Wiggins, and 11th will be William Martin, as they are still out there trying to get together with some good laps. Looking at it now, get some good laps out here as Justin Cope in that number 28 machine out there running some more practice laps as it has concluded. And we're going to go ahead and move on into the qualifying session. Going to see if Mr. Stoney Benfield going to go out really quickly, get his 2 qualifying laps in here tonight to give us our tonight's invocation. As Stoney's going to be on out there. He's repping a new paint scheme out here tonight. He's got the Camo Remington scheme for his good friend Morgan Shepard. I'm going to see what he could do with that number 75 Ford Taurus. So far, it looks like everybody is on out there on the track so far. As we're going to ride on board with the number 75. And once he pulls up off the track, I'll bring him on into the broadcast booth to give tonight's invocation. But so far, lap number 1 is going to be a quick time. Coming back on around, and he's going to go top of the boards with a 14.949. So far, Matty Clark, he's going to come around and take his first time. Second lap, got a beautiful line going on. Second lap is going to be even faster with a 14.756. Matty Clark coming around to take his second lap. I believe he might have gotten into the wall as he's going to come up off the corner. First lap will not count as his second lap here. Let's see what he can do. Jacob Kaplan goes second quickest. Second lap for Matty Clark is going to be... His laps are not counting. So I'm not sure what's going on with Matty D. Clark. But while we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and bring on up Mr. Stoney Benfield. If we can find him, we can. Stoney, this is Dylan, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, buddy?
All right, Stoney, I figured since you got your qualifying laps on down there for us really quick, I figured we'd bring you on up here to give tonight's invocation.
That'd be great, man.
All right, sir.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, oh, dude, I am always ready to hear your fine words before a long race.
Hey, well, welcome everybody tonight to Bristol, and let's ask the Lord to give us a great race together. Let's pray together, guys. Lord, thank you for the opportunity that we have to gather tonight and to have fun and to race. And Lord, I pray that we would race with integrity. And Lord, we would represent you well, and may everybody just have a great time tonight. But Lord, above all, may Jesus Christ be honored and glorified in everything that's done. Thank you for this league and these guys that make it happen. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you for those kind words there, Stoney, and we wish you the best of luck up here in the broadcast booth, and hopefully you have a good, exciting 500 miles here tonight at the world-famous Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it easy here and see what happens, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. We're going to go ahead and put you back on up there to your chat, and we'll be checking in on you here momentarily.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to be Stoney Bedfield. He gave tonight's invocation as he does every single week, but it's going to be Daniel Molnix taking the top spot with a 14.572. Matty Clark still out there running some laps on the track. Not sure what's going on with the number 31, but his times have not counted at all. So definitely something different out here tonight as Robert Lawrence, you seen him earlier get a little bit loose and smack that inside wall as he's only going to have one lap count as he is 0.3 off of your race leader. So far, everybody done with their laps that have elected to go out and qualify here tonight. But if you guys have a favorite driver that you guys are looking after, make sure you guys put it down there in the comment section to let me know who you guys are voting for all the way through this 500 lap race. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe to CRN so you guys don't miss a beat on what happens next, as we have a whole week full of broadcasts throughout CRN, whether it be Redline Racing, NSR, Core Racing, and UCRL. Shane Super Late Model Showdown has ended their season last Wednesday. Jeffrey Radke was able to get the championship wrapped up. But Thursday we do have some exciting news. The 87s will be back in action for a one night only as of right now until we get the voting completely done and see if the 87s make a return for Core Racing. That's going to be one season that I'm definitely going to be looking forward to, as I love the 87s. But on a Sunday night, tomorrow night, you're going to see me in the broadcast booth as Core Racing Premier Series is back in action on Darlington in the SRFs. That coverage will be brought to you by me at about 9:45 Eastern. Make sure you guys don't miss out on that. That's going to be a lot of drafting and a lot of 3-4 wide possibly, so you guys don't want to miss that action. Monday night, we're going to have Carl Hadwick and Terry Jansen in the broadcast booth for the Core GT Series. Tuesday night, you're going to have John Nobinger and Ricky Gonzalez in the broadcast booth, along with Caleb Collins, as I'll be down on the track with the ARCA and the Truck League. So make sure you guys tune into that one. That's going to be absolutely fun. It's going to be at Auto Club. So make sure you guys tune into that. Also, on Tuesday night, you're also going to have the UCRL, unless they're on an on-off week, is they're going to double down on their 87 series. Want to tune in and make sure you guys find that out with Carl and Jimmy up there in the broadcast booth. That's definitely going to be something fun to watch out there tonight. Wednesday night, no broadcast. As I mentioned, the Shane Super Late Model Showdown has taken their Season 1 completely down. Getting ready to come back with Season number 2, and it's going to be under a new name, Lucky Dog Racing. Make sure you guys tune in on July 12th as I'll start bringing you that action back. Thursday night, we have the CRN Coke 300, 200 laps at Legacy Charlotte, 5 tire sets, 2 fast repairs, just a little gimme in the 87s. Can't wait to run that one. That's going to be this Thursday coming up on CRN. It's definitely going to be something fun to watch as I'll be down in the car. Carl and Jimmy will most likely be up in the broadcast booth giving you guys that show. Friday night, Redline Racing will be back this week, as that's going to be one hell of a show as well, Gen 4 League. So make sure you guys tune into that. Qualifying almost done here. About 2 minutes left to spare for qualifying, as everybody has pretty much taken their times, and Alexander Encarnacio has fallen all the way down to P number 10 on the field. Looks like we're going to have 13 guys out here tonight for 500 laps. And it's definitely going to be something fun to watch here tonight. Bristol, high-banked, high-speed track. Self-blocking track, you could say, unless you're in the corners. You're going to slide all the way back down. But if you're on the front stretch or the back stretch, that's where you're going to see a lot of excitement. You're going to see the high side work. You're going to see the middle work. You're going to see the inside work. But who can toughen out this mile or this half-mile racetrack? If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the video. Make sure you guys hit that bell notification so you guys don't miss anything that CRN has to offer. If you guys are into energy drinks, make sure you guys go to w.org, I believe it is, and use code COREDUB, all one word, all capitalized, COREDUB, for 10% off on your next W order, as CRN was able to get a hold of that. Also want to give another big shout out to another sponsor of CRN. That's going to be Kelly Pointer Motors Oil Supplies. I think I just butchered that. He sponsors a couple of the race series over on Core Racing side, and he has been a big help for CRN as well as Kelly Pointer out there, normally in the broadcast chat, rooting on everybody. Same with Barry Kistler. I know Barry Kistler's out there watching right now. Want to give a big shout out to Ruth Gardner. Ruth and Jimmy is pulling for our faster pastor brother, Stoney Benfield, number 75. So Stoney already having a couple of fans out there rooting for him, and it looks like qualifying is over. We're going to go ahead and bring up the grid for you guys really quick. Looks like it's going to be Daniel Molnix in that number 2 machine, going to start on the pole here tonight. 2 looking pretty fast for the night. P number 2 will be Justin Cope, and rounding out your top 3 will be Stoney Benfield. 4th, Patrick Gettner. 5th will be Mark Sikochi. 6th is going to be Jacob Kaplan. Patrick Stein, the newcomer, starting P number 7. Robert Lawrence in 8th. Brian Wiggins in 9th. Alexander Encarnacio in 10th. Matty Clark is going to be P number 11. Not posting a time, along with William Martin in 12th. And rounding out your 13-car field will be Andy Reeves. Small field tonight for a small track, but nonetheless, it's still going to bring on exciting racing here tonight. Looking at it now, we're going to go ahead and, while we have the time, look through these beautiful paint schemes while everybody gets ready to get turned in for this night of racing. In the number 2, the Miller Lite, looks like the Elvis Mobile of Daniel Molnix. And then number 28, Haviline Auto Light, is going to be Justin Cope. A new paint scheme here, the Camouflage Remington number 75, Faster Pastor Stoney Benfield. And then number 45, the Dixie Brawny, number 45 of Patrick Gettner. In 6th will be Jacob Kaplan, and that Hot Wheels number 44. Patrick Stein rolling off P number 7, and then Skull Bandit number 33. Robert Lawrence in P number 8, and that Jack Daniels 07. Brian Wiggins in that number 5, a Lowe's Kyle Busch throwback. Alexander Encarnacio, and then number 35, Tabasco. Matty Clark in that number 31, Singular. William Martin in that number 6, Ford Taurus, throwback to Mr. Mark Martin. Rounding out your 13-car field will be the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet of Andy Reeves. Mark Sikochi in that number 8 Budweiser machine. He's going to roll off P number 6. or P number 5, I should say. Sorry about that. But nonetheless, that's going to be your field here tonight, as we're going to go ahead and move on up here to Daniel Monix as the pace lights are off, it seems. Pace car is going to dive down into pit lane. Nope, not this time. You're going to see the field go all the way on by 2 to green. Now it's going to be 1 to green. So pace car to go down pit lane next time. And it's definitely going to be a fun race to watch. Looking through here, turn number 2. As all these drivers are going to get those tires warmed up and see what they can do throughout this whole field. As everybody going turn 3 now, pace car going to be looking to dive off the track, get you a nice little digger cam. As there he goes. Back up to Barney the Flagman, and we are under green here for the first time tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Daniel Molix going to lead these drivers into turn number 1. Got that bottom line ripped up already. 3 wide deep in the pack. As Alexander Encarnacio making it 3 wide yet again. He's trying to hunt his way to the front as he is wasting no time all the way back up to P number 4. Just taking no prisoners, but how quick does he want to burn off those tires as he's making no efforts to stay in the back. Wants to hurry up, get up towards the front, and that's just what he's going to do. Looking through turn number 1 and 2, Andrew Reeves goes high, but the 6 is going to get a little bit loose. He's going to be able to keep it clean. See everybody running that inside. You got a couple of people on that outside. Looking at the pit lane there, but it is going to be Daniel Monix up to P number 1, and already Alexander Encarnacio up to P number 2, as he's going to try to make his way around that number 2 machine. Back of the back, though, the 31 of Matty Clark able to make his way up to P number 7. And it looks like Stody Benfield is going to drop back to P number 8. So now he's going to take his time. Stody Benfield now under pressure from Mark Sikochi and Brian Wiggins. Brian Wiggins trying to find a way around Mark Sikochi. Stody Benfield going to roll that outside. Give Mark Sikochi down to the inside. And Brian Wiggins kind of just waiting in the back to see what happens. 13 drivers out here tonight, but it's still going to be a great and phenomenal race. 500 laps as they have closed in on 9 laps so far. So 500 laps could go by fairly quickly as we have a new race leader. Alexander Encarnacio did take the lead away from Daniel Molnix. So now this is where, Alexander Encarnacio up into the wall, going to come down off the wall and get back into that groove. I'm going to see if he can try to set sail on these drivers. Back of the back, though, Justin Cope down to the inside. Patrick Gettner up to the outside wall. And here comes Jacob Kaplan. Jacob Kaplan was ready for this racetrack here tonight. Loves Bristol Motor Speedway. And he has made his way all the way up to P number 4. Biggest mover so far will be Alexander Encarnacio, up 8 positions from where he has started. As Jacob Kaplan had a little bit of issues there. He's going to drop through the pack as he's still going to be dropping. Oh, the 33 and 44 get together. 44 is going to be able to save it there. But a little bit of right side damage to that number 44 machine as him and the newcomer Patrick Stein get together. The 07 of Robert Lawrence getting passed by the 75. But now he's trying to get back around that number 75 here. As now Robert Lawrence up on that outside, making it wide. And he's got Mark Sikochi. He's going to go into the wall. He's going to be able to power around Stony Benfield. Already the 35 and the 2 have put the 6 a lap down. And it's only going to be a matter of time until that 35 catches the rest of the field. Robert Lawrence gets a little bit loose out of turn number 4. He's really putting the tires to that setup, as it looks like the 33 maybe is going for a pass on, who is that? Yeah, the 33 was able to get around the number 44, and now the 33 going to set sights on that number 24, as Justin Cope working around the number 6 machine, going to come up right up in front of the 6. That's going to be an easy spot to gain, as Matty D. Clark started P number 11, already up 7 positions from where he has started. He's got the pace. Has been an RCR win all through the season. But now we have a battle for P number 9. Stoney Benfield going to give up that position to the number 5 of Brian Wiggins. Now he's got the other Hendrick Motorsports car of Andy Reeves down to his inside. Gets a little bit tight, almost gets into the side of Stoney. Stoney's just going to let them all by, save his tires, and come in when he least expects it. Pretty much everybody single filed all the way out through the field. No big battles going on, as this race could be like Indianapolis. It could get strung out, and then you really gotta see what happens. Andy Reeves able to get around the number 75 of Stoney Benfield. Now he's going to try to catch his counterpart of that number 5, as the 45 down on the inside of the number 6, able to get around him nice and cleanly. But so far it is Matty Clark trying to catch up to that number 28. He's got the pace to get to him. It is one thing to catch somebody, but it's a different thing to pass them, as Matty Clark rolling that outside to his advantage. Going to go ahead and ride on board with the number 31 of Matty Clark. You see it there. He's getting a little bit of an arc into the corner, getting it all the way down to that inside, but not able to get around the number 28. Gets right up on that back bumper, and then backs it down to not burn a lot of tire. See him having to work that wheel. Gets all the way to the rear bumper of the number 28. Going to go ahead to the nose camera here. Show you just how close he's really getting once he gets up to that number 28 once again. And Matty Clark, man on a mission right now. Wants to keep that RCR streak going, as Johnny Taylor was not able to make the race here tonight. So RCR only has 2 cars out there tonight. It's going to be the 07 of Robert Lawrence and the 31 of Matty Clark. The 07 of Robert Lawrence down into pit lane. Not sure what's going on, but Alexander Encarnacio currently dealing with lap traffic, and Daniel Molnix already on his back bumper once again. Here comes Daniel Molnix down to the inside. Daniel Molnix not able to get there so far, but Daniel Molnix keeping that number 35 honest, and they're going to be side by side, maybe coming off the corner. No, give the advantage to the 35. 35's getting really close to that wall, as the 2's going to be side by side at his quarter panel, going into turn number 1 and 2. Give the advantage to the 2 this time, and I think coming off turn number 4, this is where the 2 may be able to get him. 35 riding that outside, and no. Give that lap lead to Alexander Encarnacio. Way wide there. Now Daniel Molnix has the advantage. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Daniel Molnix going to be able to clear him. Does he come back up? He does it. There they go. Daniel Molnix to the outside wall. He hesitated, and that's when the wrecks happen. So when you hesitate, that's when things go sideways. And now we have a new race leader. The 2 is back out front where he has started. Matty D. Clark still trying to get around the number 28 of Justin Cope. Kind of just biding his time and making it work. Want to give a big shout out to everybody out there watching in the chat, rooting on their favorite drivers. We've got a couple of Jacob Kaplan fans out there, as the 33 is going to go one more lap down. 28 and 31 going to pass him on the outside, as 31 able to get around to that number 28 quickly. Looks like the 35 is going to fall off pace here momentarily. That 2 is starting to take him to Gapplebee's here. And that's what I was talking about. Bum rushed his way up to the front, and now he's going to fall off like a rock. Want to save your tires when you can, and I think that's what everybody else is doing. Looking at it now, nobody's really battling back up here that is on the lead lap other than Patrick Gittner and the 8 of Mark Sikochi. See the gap here. Matty Clark, though, keeping the number 28 honest. Gets right up to his back bumper and then has to fall off just a little bit. As we are under caution here, we're going to go ahead and go back to a CRN replay and see exactly what happened here. As Matty Clark gets the bumper from the 6. The 6 is going to spin the 31 around. 31 able to keep it off the wall and get that number 31 turned back around. And there is no damage for that number 31. So about 50 laps in before the first caution, so not too bad, especially for a short track like Bristol Motor Speedway. As Robert Lawrence able to come back out after fixing all that damage on the number 07. As we have some drivers in the pit lane still getting some more of that damage repaired, as it's going to give Andy Reeves the lead here. And I think they have to go down both pit roads. I'm not 100% sure. But still doing what they need to do to get their laps under green. So Patrick Gittner will be your race leader. Mark Sikochi in P number 2. Brian Wigg is in 3rd. Stoney Benfield rounding out your top 4. Or Matty Clark running out your top 5. There we go. Yeah. Jacob Kaplan, P number 6. Alexander Encarnacio in 7th. Justin Cope in 8th. Daniel Monix in 9th. Patrick Stein in 10th. Eddie Reeves in P number 11. William Martin, 1 lap down in 12th. And Robert Lawrence running out your 13-car field. Patrick Ettner decided to take the inside 1 lap to green, going down the backstretch here. Robert Lawrence going around to catch the field as he was able to get that wave around. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the Saturday night. The 45 and the 8 going to be leading this field on the run. A great start by the 45 and the 5 that caught the 8 sleeping there. And Patrick Gettner going to be able to check out there. Matty Clark up to P number 3. Right in front of Mark Sikochi. Mark Sikochi going to dive it in. He's going to round the outside, but not going to be able to get around Matty Clark. Right up on the back bumper of that number 31 machine. Jacob Kaplan down to the inside of Mark Sikochi. You see it here. Everybody battling for a little bit of position where they can get it, where they can't. And Matty Clark looking down to the inside. Brian Wiggins throws a hellacious block on that number 31, but the 31 going to battle back down to the inside, side by side for P number 2. And Matty Clark able to get that P2. He's going to get a little bit loose. Down into turn number 1 and 2. He's going to loop it, save it. Oh, he's going to come back up and hit Mark Sikochi. And that's going to bring out a call. Oh, the 33 tagging the number 31. But not a lot of damage on that number 31 machine. He's going to be able to get into pit lane and get that thing repaired. As that's going to bring out our second caution of the night. Oh, that's the same wreck. Here, let me go this way. Sorry. Here we go. Now we got the... So coming out of turn 4, he gets a little bit loose. Keeps it down on the inside. Just gets a little bit loose too. The car catches and snaps back. Oh, Mark Sikochi nowhere to go. And everybody able to miss except for that number 33 machine. So Matty Clark not having a start to this race that he wants to see. So far, so good. Everybody going to go down into pit lane, service their car, and I wonder if Matty Clark's going to sit in pit lane and get that damage repaired. Believe that may be what he is doing. Is still 13 cars out here on the racetrack. Patrick Gettner going to be able to hold on to this race lead. Jacob Kaplan, P number 2. Brian Wiggins going to round out your top 3. Alexander Encarnacio, you see how quick his short run speed is. What does he have for a long run? As we see Daniel Monix was able to catch back up to the number 35 and pass him on that first little bit of a run. But now Patrick Gettner gonna like to take the inside and give Jacob Kaplan the outside. I believe the 45 and the 44 are teammates. So I already know they are going to give themselves that little bit of momentum going in here. Patrick Gettner, Jacob Kaplan, front row. Brian Wiggins, Alexander Encarnacio, round out second row. The 45 gets a great launch, going to move up in front of the 44. 44 is going to move down, actually. And we are back to racing. Look at Alexander Encarnacio ripping that outside. He's going to take away P number 2, possibly P number 1, as he's going to keep it up on that high side. No, he's going to stay in P number 2 as Patrick Gettner. Just going to let him go. Go ahead. Go burn up your stuff, big boy. I'll see you in about 20 or so laps as Patrick going to let everybody go by. As the 5 of Brian Wiggins able to get around the number 45. Daniel Molnix looking down to the inside of that number 45 machine. He's going to make that pass nice and easy. No, he's not. Patrick Gettner not going to let him have it that easy. As Matty Clark trying to work his way back up to the front, and Daniel Molnix finally making that pass. The 6, William Martin, getting into the wall in the back. He's going to be a little bit loose. Going to be extremely slow. He's going to keep it up high for these two gentlemen coming on around. Mark Sakochi is going to be able to get around him, but now the number 33 has to find a way. Robert Lawrence down on the inside, not battling for position, but going to try to make a move around that number 24. Not able to do so. Matty Clark is 1 lap down. So Matty Clark trying to keep it as clean as he possibly can, but not be that next caution. Matty Clark down on the inside of Robert Lawrence. He's going to be able to take that pass away. And we are 66 laps in of this 500 lap race. Matty Clark down to the inside of the number 24. 24 is going to be on the outside. He's got the better run, though, being on that outside to carry a lot more momentum. Matty Clark down to the inside wall. Going to hit that wall a ton. Oh man, that tire has got to be pushed in just a little bit too much, as I believe I gave the number 31 a little bit of broadcaster's curse. So go ahead and move on up to somebody else, as the number 2 of Daniel Molnix riding around P number 4, trying to catch up to these race leaders. Brian Wiggins all over the back bumper of that number 44, but the 44 not going to let the 35 get away this time, as we're going to ride on board with the number 5. Show you guys what they are all doing. As the 5 trying to keep in contact with the number 44, and the 35 jump on board with that number 44. Jacob Kaplan looks down to the inside of Alexander Encarnacio, and he gets the race lead. Move the 44 up to the front for the first time here tonight. 71 laps in, and the 44, Jacob Kaplan, is your race leader. And you see the long conga snake line effect towards the back. 72 laps in out of 500 here tonight, as we're going to go back to everybody else in the race, see where everybody's sitting at. Looks like Justin Cope battling the number 07 here. 07's not on the lead lap. 07's going to smack the wall pretty good, but not going to have that stop him here tonight. Mark Sakochi and Matty Clark going to be battling for position for when a caution comes out. Who's going to be able to get the lucky dog, as the 07 gets into the wall going on the front stretch, but the 28 not there to capitalize on it. 31 down to the inside of Mark Sakochi. And even though he's got a little bit of tire rub on that number 31 machine along with the number 8, the 8's going to smack the wall just a little bit, And 31's going to get around that number 8 machine for another time. Mark Sakochi and that Budweiser King of Beers number 8 machine trying to get that one lap back. But it's going to be something hard to do, especially with a fast field that we have here tonight. So far, everybody in a tight little line as back of the back, Andy Reeves holding off the number 07 and the 28 as the 28 finally able to get around the number 07. As now the 28 can start focusing on that number 24, but up here towards the front, we got a 3-car breakaway. The 44, the 35, and the 5. Nose to tail, but Daniel Molnix in that number 2 machine starting to reel in the top 3. I'm going to go ahead and ride along with that number 2. He's running that outside, diving it down, and with him being by himself, he can do that. He's got the room to. He doesn't have to worry about a car underneath of him or on the outside, as now it is a 4-car battle for the race lead, as Alexander Encarnacio holding on to P2, but as Jacob Kaplan all up front by himself. Clean air is the best air, as Daniel Molnix is going to try to set up a pass on that number 5. The 5 is going to go down to the inside. I think Daniel should have stayed up top, as now Daniel Molnix has to find a way around these drivers. Looks like Brian Wiggins is going to move up the racetrack ever so slightly, but keep in front of the number 2. As now Alexander Encarnacio, you see it up there, he's going for the race lead. Give the race lead back to Jacob Kaplan. Alexander not able to lead that lap. Jacob Kaplan up there on the outside. Alexander Encarnacio able to clear him. And that's going to allow the 5 and the 2 to be right up on the back bumper. The 2 was looking for the dive. The 5 read it all the way around and was able to shut the door. The 5 doing what he can to keep that number 2 behind him as of right now, but there's only going to be so much you could do to keep him behind you before you start burning off your tires. And I think that's what Daniel Molnix is trying to do to that number 5. Already almost a quarter of the way done here, as we are coming up on lap 100. As Daniel Molnix now goes back to the outside. This is what he needed to do. Oh, look at that run he got on the number 5. He's going to keep it up high. The 5 thought he was going to dive it down to the inside. Daniel Molnix played him a dummy. Down to the inside he goes. Daniel Molnix trying to take P3 away from Brian Wiggins. Not able to get the run that he needed. Brian Wiggins, oh man, dirty block. Well, not dirty, but chop the nose of the number 2. And these 4 cars, nose to tail. You see it there. Daniel Molnix almost got into the back bumper of the number 5 machine, but nonetheless able to keep it clean and green as Daniel Molnix back up to the outside. And Jacob Kaplan going to slide up a little bit. Daniel Molnix to the outside of Brian Wiggins. He's going to have P3. No. Brian Wiggins fights back on the inside. He's going to get a little bit tight. Now give P3 to Daniel Molnix. He's going to be able to get clear of the number 5 machine. But looking back here, we have a bigger battle. There's the 24, the 31, the 28, the 45. 4-car breakaway. And we have a yellow here tonight. The 8, the 07, and the 6. Oh no. Going to jump on board with the... Oh, the 07 was already loose. Comes back up in front of the 6. Oh, gets picked up. The 8 gets around we're going to have to go back to a quick rewind here. Look onto Mark Sakoci's onboard here. See what he sees. Oh yeah, going into the corner, Robert Lawrence gets a little bit loose. Then he sees front get picked up. Mark Sakochi goes low, then goes high. And he was able to get on around, as that is devastating here tonight. So Matty Clark back on the race lead, as Robert Lawrence has packed it up and taken his car to next week. So everybody in pit lane at this time by. And looks like the 33 is going to stay out. He's going to get the wave around, so he's going to be able to get back on the lead lap, but it's going to give Andy Reeves the race lead here. No, Andy Reeves is going to go into pit lane this time by. Alexander Encarnacio will be your race leader. The 35 and the 2 going to do battle once again. Want to say thank you to everybody that is out there in the broadcast chat cheering on your favorite drivers. We have a lot going for Stoney Benfield. We have some going for the 44 of Jacob Kaplan. Stoney Benfield right behind him. So you got a lot of drivers going for the number 75 and the 44 out there in the broadcast chat. Want to say hello to Barbara Pinion, Margie Murphy, Alicia Kaplan, Barry Kistler, Kip Cook, Ruth Gardner, all you guys out there, ladies and gentlemen, saying hello to your favorite racer out here as we watch the 75 go down to the inside. But it's going to be Alexander Encarnacio and Daniel Monix on the front row. We know how quick Alexander is, but he did not elect to pit. So it's going to be a who's battle. Alexander got the loud button. He's going to go right away. And we are back to racing here. 100 laps in, out of 500. Daniel Monix giving him his best shot on that outside. But it's going to be the 35 getting clear. The 44 almost got in the rear end of the number 5, back towards the back. Matty Clark trying to get around that number 24. 24 is going to run the outside. Into the wall he goes. And Matty Clark back up to P number 9 or 8. Justin Cope in that number 28 machine holding off Mark Sakochi. Doing what he can and doing it proudly. A 102 laps in, and just like that, I mean, it seems like this race is going by slow, but with this track being a half mile, this race is actually going to go by fairly quickly as Stoney goes from the top all the way down to the bottom, cutting that run off from the number 28 as they are slowly starting to catch into that number 75 of Stoney Benfield. The 2 under pressure from the number 5 of Brian Wiggins. Now the tables are turned. Brian Wiggins into the wall. Going to be able to get it off of the wall nice and easily. And now Jacob Kaplan running his fastest lap of the race, and he's going to fall down the grid order. What happened to... We're going to see what happened here. Oh, nope. See what happened to the number 44 of Jacob Kaplan. Oh. We'll go ahead and rewind it here so we can see exactly what happened to the number 44 on why he lost all those spots. And there we have it. He gets a little bit loose. I think it was going into the corner. Yeah, just going into the corner. Steps it on out. Able to keep it going, though. But back to the live scene as nothing has changed. The 5 all over the back bumper of the 2. And that's allowing the 35 to start to pull away. But back here it is Justin Cope all over with Matty Clark. Matty Clark able to get around the number 28 and move Matty Clark back up to P number 5. Justin Cope going to try to get back around the number 31. Not able to get there. And now Matty Clark can start setting his eyes on P number 4 of Stony Benfield. But once they catch that number 75, it's going to be like a choo-choo train, as he's not just bringing himself, he's bringing 2 other drivers with him. Patrick Gettner and the 44 Jacob Kaplan back there running simultaneous laps. Matty D. Clark looking down to the inside of Stony Benfield. He's going to have the position. Stoney's just going to back out of it, let him have it. And Patrick Gettner gets a little bit loose on the inside. So we pretty much have a 5-car battle back here. As Jacob Kaplan, big mistake. Almost gets into the rear end of Mark Sikochi. Wisely backed it down. Didn't lock him up, but got a little bit loose going into the corner. Now he's got to make up all that time he has lost. As the 5 of Brian Wiggins, not sure what's going on with the number 5 machine, is we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay. 5 of Brian Wiggins, you can see it, his car's already starting to step out. He's going to hit that inside wall and keep it pinned there, as he's going to let everybody go on by, and no caution for that, as it was a single car spin. Now Jacob Kaplan to the inside of Mark Sikochi. Mark Sikochi going to let him have that position. Now he's going to start working on the number 75 of Stony Benfield. Can Jacob Kaplan get back up there to the front? The 31 of Matty Clark was able to get around the number 28. And now Matty Clark sitting P number 3. Jacob Kaplan going to slide up in front of the 75. Move Jacob Kaplan up to P number 5. 120 laps in. I say we turn the mics down, turn the engines up, and give you guys a little bit of "You Love to Hear It." as we are going to be back here. After that, you love to hear, we're going to be under a yellow flag, as we're going to have to see if we can find that. I know it happened with Brian Wiggins, as Brian Wiggins got a little bit loose and has caught up with a few other drivers, as we're going to debunk and see what happened, as he had the race leader right in front of him. Alexander, oh, it looked like maybe Alexander Encarnacio got into the side of. I have to slow it down here. Get another good look at it. Watch it from Alexander's onboard. See if Alexander got into the back of Brian Wiggins. As, yeah, Alexander Encarnacio got in the back of Brian Wiggins, which in turn spun the number 5, the 45, nowhere to go, tags the number 5. 45 all the way up into the wall, 33 nowhere to go, 2 able to get through it. 33 is going to lock him up and not get in the back of the number 45, as he was able to miss it. Same with the number 24. As that's going to bring out another caution here tonight. So, Alexander Encarnacio having a little bit of trouble there with the number 5 and causing that caution. $152 laps out of 500, as Alexander Encarnacio is still your race leader. Sorry about that. Get that on out of the way, sorry. So far, the 45, the 33, and the 5 all down a pit lane. As the 35 will be getting the penalty here tonight. So now he's got to go to the longest end of the line. And that's something that you don't really want to see with this race. So Alexander Encarnacio going to be put to the back. With Matty D. Clark and Robert Lawrence both out of this race, it is now official. An RCR car will not win tonight's race. Jacob Kaplan going to bring these gentlemen back to the green flag, as Daniel Moldick's going to get a better jump than Jacob Kaplan on that outside. Kaplan going to fall back to P number 2. Daniel Moldick with the race lead. Sonny Bedfield, P number 3. Justin Cope, P number 4. As everybody is starting to get single filed out, as we have 11 cars out there on the track still running, as Patrick Gettner and Brian Wiggins into pit lane getting their cars repaired. 35 gets a little bit wiggly on the underside of the number 28, able to keep it off of him. Stony Benfield looking to make that move down on the inside of the number 44. We've seen the 75 go back towards the back. Now he's got a feel for the car, feel for the track. Now he's going to try to make a move. Alexander Encarnacio going to spin it. And Alexander getting a little bit too much there. He's going to lose all that track position. Trying to get into the corner A little bit too spicy. Going to get it sideways. Able to hold on to it. So Alexander Encarnacio trying to make all that time back up. Now he's got to get around this number 6 as the 24 is loose. Oh, and Alexander Encarnacio takes out the number 6. Is that, man, just nowhere to go for the number 35. And we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay here. We're going to... Now, right here, you can see the 24 is a little bit loose going in. The 6 is checking up. He's loose as well. Alexander just nowhere to go. You got 2 cars loose in front of you. Alexander tried to make it to the outside, was not able to. And Alex gets put in the wall. And ouch. That's going to bring out our next caution. Oh, and we have more trouble. I don't know what come back to. Oh, we had more troubles here getting into pit lane. Does it look like Justin Cope, maybe? Was going into pit lane and got hit? Yeah, oh, yeah. Justin Cope got hit by the number 8. And he's going to be spun back around. So not a good race here. As Daniel Molnick still able to keep the race lead here tonight. So Daniel Molnick's gonna be able to keep the race lead. Alexander Encarnacio, he's gonna go down into pit lane. I believe that's gonna be a 1-lap hold for the number 35, as he was the cause of that caution. Alexander Encarnacio in a pit lane. Gonna get all those damages fixed. He's having a little bit of internet connection issues momentarily, but still going to get that internet, or not internet, but that damage fixed on that number 35. He's had a fast car all night. Now he's got to try to work his way back up through the field, as Daniel Molnick's up here towards the front. Been up here pretty much all night along with the number 35. And now it's a who's battle to get that first race win other than an RCR car. It could be anybody out here tonight, as there is still a lot of laps to go. Just over 300 laps. We're closing in on lap 200 out of 500. Pace car is going to dive it on in, the 2 of the 28. First time we've seen these two on the front row together. The 2 is going to get a great restart on the field. And there goes the number 2. The number 2 on out there tonight. He's going to lead that lap as Alexander Encarnacio is out of the race. Patrick Gettner down to the inside. He's going to hit the race wall. And no caution for the number 45 as he's going to jump into pit lane. I'm going to go ahead and quickly to a CRN replay, see what happened here before we get back to the battle. 3 wide. Stony Bedfield through the middle. He's going to hit the apron down to the inside, smack that inside wall, and just jump back into pit lane. But it's going to be a 4-car battle of the 5. Not on the lead lap, but he's going to make it hard for these lead lap cars, as they are settling out to make this work. Daniel Molnix trying to do what he can do, as he's probably going to let this 5 car by. He knows he's not for a position. 5's going to be in the wall. Two able to keep that 5 behind him. 5's going to... Oh, no! The 5! The 5 got loose and hit the race leader, causing the caution. Oh, if I was the 2, I'd be livid right now. That... Oh, man. I knew it. If I was the 2, I knew he wasn't battling for a position. I would have let him on by, as that's going to bring out another yellow flag. As we were watching it, I want to go ahead and go back to a CRN. Well, just rewind, I guess, as they didn't really wreck. They just got sideways, and we're going to watch it from the 5's perspective of Brian Wiggins. And you see it here. He's going to get a little bit loose coming out of the corner. See it there, that back end stepping out. Daniel Molnix coming up. Didn't realize that he was not all the way up by the wall. And he's going to be looking the other way, as that's going to bring out our next caution flag. Everybody's going to be side by side. Kaplan going to be your race leader. Daniel Molnix is going to be 1 lap down in pit lane, as that sucks for the number 2 to have a dominant car like that and have a lapped car take you out of misery. Can't really put all the blame on the number 5, as, you know, like I said, you know, the 2 thought the 5 was going to be all the way up by the wall. He started coming up, and that was not the case. So you can't put all the blame on that driver. There we go. Brian Wiggins going to drop all the way back to the back, as he was the cause of the caution. Daniel Molnix still in pit lane, getting that damage fixed on that number 2. See it there, hard damage to that number 2 machine. Take a look at that bumper, as Jacob Kaplan with the race lead, going to lead these guys back to the green flag, and we are back to racing. Jacob Kaplan getting a great launch down to the inside. Stoney Benfield looking underneath Justin Cope. Not going to be able to get there this time by, as Daniel Molnix is back out there on the racetrack. 3 laps down. Stoney Benfield making a move for P number 2. Justin Cope just going to be able to let Stoney Benfield have that position. Stony Benfield up to the top 3 once again here tonight. Andy Reeves battling. Nope, not battling with the number 6. It's going to be William Martin battling with Mark Sikochi. Mark Sikochi able to get around William Martin. William Martin's going to go around yet again. Patrick Gettner nowhere to go. And able to keep it straight that time by. Looking at the number 75 of Stony Benfield in P number 2. And already everybody spread out as there are 9 drivers left on the track. Well, 8 technically, because the 5 is still in the pit lane. Looking back here, Justin Cope has fallen off just a little bit from the race leader and second place. As yeah, everybody is single file now, no big battles throughout the racetrack. The 75 may have something for Jacob Kaplan, our race leader. In that number 44, Jacob Kaplan did say this was his favorite track. Still doing what he can to hold on to that race lead. Jacob Kaplan catching up to the number 2 machine, going to put him another lap down. As there are 4 drivers on the lead lap here tonight, we have seen it go to where there's only been 2 drivers on the lead. English is hard. We haven't seen it to where only 2 drivers go on the lead lap. And Daniel Molnick's not having a good midway point of this race so far. Still a lot of laps left. Can get those laps back due to cautions, but it looks like it's not going to be able to happen. As Mark Sikochi on the looking for the over/under on the number 5 of Brian Wiggins, not going to be able to be there this time. As we're closing in on 300 laps to go. Still a lot of laps left. A lot of any of these drivers can get back on the lead lap and win tonight's race at Bristol. It's definitely going to be a adrenaline or endurance feel, as it already feels that way, especially at Bristol with how these corners are. And now everybody stacked back up, all spread out through the track. Stoney not able to get to the back bumper of the number 44. But Stoney sitting P number 2, keeping that gap about a second and under. Doesn't really fall above that second mark. So he's keeping it under 1.1 seconds. He's, well, as I say that, he drops to 1.2. But definitely going to be something fun to watch. See if Stoney's got a long run car. As we're going to go ahead and turn the mics down once again and turn the volumes up and give you guys a little bit of it. You'll love to hear it. and gentlemen, we are back with NSR as we are on our longest green flag run here tonight. And Jacob Kaplan still with the race lead, 4-second gap over Stony Bedfield, as he is putting on a clinic. Justin Cope, Stony Bedfield, and Jacob Kaplan all on the race lead. Everybody else laps down, just out there having fun, as we are closing in on the halfway point of tonight's race at Bristol. Got to talking to some of the drivers here tonight, and tempers are flaring. As it is short track racing, it does happen. As we're looking on a back here, Mark Sikochi with the number 5 of Brian Wiggins. Brian Wiggins not having a good race here tonight. Got involved in a few melees throughout the night, but now the 45 looking down to the inside of the number 24. They got the 6 behind them. Who's going to give? It's going to be the 24 giving a little bit there, letting the 45 go. The 44 is going to let the 2 go on by, as Daniel Molnix trying to get back on the lead lap here, as Daniel Molnix got involved in that last caution and is now trying to run his heart out to get back on that lead lap. The 6 still trying to get around that number 24, not able to do so, as he's right there on the back bumper, just can't find a way to get around him. And this long into the run, you see the 24 is committed to that outside. William got to use that inside to his advantage. 24 hard in the wall. Going to slide the tires just a little bit. That's going to allow the number 6 to get around the number 24. The 24 having a little bit of tire issues there. Not getting that number 24 to rotate through the center where he needs to. And Stony Bedfield falling off to 6 seconds behind our race leader. Yeah, that 75 still in great shape. No damage on that number 75 machine. The 28, he's now under pressure from the number 8 machine of Mark Sikochi. And the 28 got turned going into pit lane on one of those cautions by the 8 of Sikochi. So good recovery by the number 28 machine of Justin Cope. Want to say thank you to all 20 viewers out here tonight watching along, following each and every driver here tonight as they are duking it out for 500 laps here at Bristol. As there is 9 drivers out there on the track. Jacob Kaplan staying right on the back bumper of the number 2 of Daniel Molnix. He's got this track pretty much figured out, but Daniel Molnix didn't have that damage and didn't get hit by the number 5 and put in the outside wall. I think this could be Daniel Molnix's race to win, as Daniel Molnix rolling that outside, trying to find a way around, as he's running 16.1s. Everybody's still running 16.1s, so Molnix still up to speed with everybody. And this is going to be a battle of nutrition, as Molnix has the race leader right behind him, slowly starting to catch up to Mark Sikochi and that number 8 machine, the 28 of Justin Cope. So there will be only 2 drivers on the lead lap here. Not exactly sure how many laps they could get under green flag conditions, but it's definitely going to be something fun to watch. now Stony Benfield under pressure from the number 5 of Brian Wiggins. He's got the 24 in front of him and the 5 behind him. Stony Benfield down to the inside of the number 24. 24 is going to let him have it. Brian Wiggins following along on that back bumper of the number 75. And both going to be able to get around the number 75. Brian Wiggins going to drive it deep down into the corner, down to the inside. Possibly going to be side by side with the number 75. Brian Wiggins still trying to get around Stony Benfield here. Not for position, but trying to get around some of these race leaders to get back on the lead lap. Stony Benfield able to hold off the number 5. 75 getting up into the wall there. Tires are feeling a little bit worn. Jacob Kaplan now side by side with Mark Sikochi. Down to the inside. Mark Sikochi going to let him have the position. He's going to ride the wall coming out of turn number 4. So Jacob Kaplan having the race of his life here. No battles, no pressure for P number 2 as he is 11 seconds behind that number 44. And the 2 has stretched out from the number 44, going to make that pass on the number 24. 24 still rolling that outside. He hasn't given up on it. I think his tires are a little bit too worn. He just can't get down to that inside. And there's Jacob Kaplan, our race leader, going to put Andy Reeves 2 laps down. Stony Benfield starting to pull away from that number 5 machine ever so slowly. Looking on board with that number 2. He's got that high side ripping. He's got a little bit of damage on that number 2 machine, but still able to keep up with the race leaders as he's hoping for a few cautions to get that lap back and get back on the lead lap and see if he can contend with the number 44. But so far he's got to be able to get 4 cautions and get past the number 24 and the number 6. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that has liked, shared, subscribed to CRN. We're all the way up to 525 subscribers. Slowly going up day by day. Can't thank you guys and ladies enough for the continued support on CRN. I want to say thank you to Jimmy and Carl for bringing me on board for CRN to showcase any league that I get a chance to showcase for them. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. Completely free. No money down. No nothing like that. It's not, you can't put in a nickel or anything like that. It's completely free. It's definitely going to be a wild journey as we have passed our goal 500. Now we're going to start working on our next goal. As Daniel Molnix is absolutely ripping around this racetrack. Caught the second place or the third place driver. That's going to be the number 28 of Justin Cope. He is absolutely using that outside to his advantage. And I wonder where he's going to go now. Is he going to go down to the inside? No. Justin Cope going to run that outside with him. Lose that momentum on the number 2 machine. Now he's going to drop it down low Daniel Molnix getting around to P number 3. No, side by side. Molnix able to get around Justin Cope for this time. Now he's going to start working on that number 5 of Brian Wiggins. Going to roll the outside. Get a good arc and a good corner. Right up on the back bumper of that number 5 machine. 5 is going to move up high. 2 is going to be right up on his back bumper. Where does the 5 go? 5 is going to dive it all the way back down to the bottom. The 2 is going to run the outside. Get a good arc. Dive it down to the inside. All the way up on the... Oh, he dumps him! The 5 goes for a ride. It goes just a little bit sideways. Able to keep it straight. Good at driving by that number 5. The 2 all over that back bumper of the number 5. He's going to be down on the inside of the number 5 machine here. And it's looking to be a little interesting between the 5 and the 2. As the 2 now has to try to get around that number 5. 5's not going to give it to him easily as, oh, they make contact there. Brian Wiggins still out front of the number 2 machine. 2 all over that back bumper. 2's going to run that outside yet again. Brian Wiggins going to run the middle, and he's going to get hit again by the number 2. Down to the inside, going to come back up. Oh, tag the 2. Oh, that wasn't. Oh, if that wasn't intentional, I don't know what is. Oh, man. Oh. Championship implications for the 5 and the number 2. And I think it's going to keep on going. Kind of brings you back to the Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday days. Oh, man. You've seen it happening with a little bit of a bump. And then there was contact. And then now we're going to go back to a CRN replay. You see it there. It gives him a little bit of a bump. Wiggins goes down the racetrack, comes back up, and tags the 2. And just runs through him. We're going to go ahead and go on back. Go to Brian Wiggins on board here. And watch all this unfold from the number 5 machines. Such a hard hit. Looks like Brian Wiggins has crashed as well. The 2 not very happy with the number 5. Oh, picks him up and loops him on around. So it looks like championship implications for a lot of these drivers. It's Daniel Molnix. Oh boy. Showing displeasure where displeasure has been made. Under pace laps again. Daniel Molnix sitting behind the pace car, and here comes Brian Wiggins. Oh man. Alright, well. That's something you don't really want to see at all. It's just like another that's another Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday incident. Definitely something that you don't want to see from drivers out here driving for the race win. Jacob Kaplan is still your race leader. Stody Benfield in P number 2. Justin Cope is going to be your top 3 that are on the lead lap. And I believe maybe the 2 and the 5 are both parked for the rest of the race for the extracurricular activities. But yeah, pace lights are out. 44 down on the inside, 75 on the out. Everybody's got fresh tires, almost halfway home. as we are halfway home. And there we are, back to the green flag. The 44 able to jump out to a quick lead on the number 75. 75 is going to have a little bit of company with Justin Cope. Justin Cope trying to get around the number 75 faster past her. Not able to do so just yet, but doing everything he can in his power to get that P number 2. Back behind them is going to be Mark Sikochi, side by side with the number 6. 6 is going to use that outside to his advantage. He's going to have the run and the momentum. No. Mark Sikochi gets a little bit loose, but the 6 gets into the wall, so that run that he would have had, Patrick Gentner goes around. That's going to bring out another caution. Into the tire barrier, or the water barrels, he goes. I'm going to go ahead and look on the back here. Is going into turn number 1 and 2. He's just going to get a little bit sideways. You see Mark Sikochi around the outside, and oh, not that hard into the water barrels, but still a little bit of a hard hit. .45 is going to take that car behind the wall. He's going to fix that damage, get the towing done, and come back out here and enjoy the rest of the race here. As it looks like the 24 is back on the lead lap here tonight. So we have the top 4 on the lead lap. The 5 and the 2 back out there on the racetrack. 28, 24, 5, 2, 6, 8, 20, 75, 44. All the drivers out there on the track. As it looks like the 75 goes down into pit lane this time by. .290 laps complete out of 500. The 75, looks like the 45 and the 8 all in pit lane, getting their cars serviced and refueled to get some more tires. They have unlimited sets of tires, so you don't have to worry about that. And everybody out there still running these laps as they're coming around for 200 laps to go here at Bristol. Jacob Kaplan, your race leader here tonight. As he will lead these drivers back to the green flag. Andy Reeves back on the lead lap as he's going to sit behind all the lapped cars. Jacob Kaplan, the 28, side by side. They're back to green. Is Jacob Kaplan going to be able to get out front? Justin Cope sitting P number 2 on the racetrack. As the 2 go to dive down to the inside, go to try to get around Mr. Stody Benfield here. Not going to be able to do it. Oh, there's wrecking again. The 2 and the 5. Oh, brother. Oh, boy. We're gonna go ahead and look at the CRN replay. Daniel Monix dives it down to the inside. Brian Wiggins on the outside. See if Wiggins gets a little bit. Yeah, Wiggins is loose. Molnix is tight. They both go spinning. Brian Wiggins hard on the inside wall, nose first. The 8 gets around it. The 24 misses it. And the 2 escaped with little to no damage. Back under caution on lap 295 as tempers really raised here in this race. Oh, well, you know, look at that. The 28 and the 75 along with the 8 machine going to go down into pit lane here. Along with the number 5. And I'm pretty sure the 5's got a lot of front end damage. Probably motors a little bit hurt. Gonna try to get as much of that damage fixed as he can as he missed his pit box. Gonna go ahead and reverse all the way into his pit box. No black flag for that number 5 machine as he got really lucky there. As the 75 is going to be able to come back out. Didn't beat the number 28 out of pit lane, so Jacob Kaplan is your race leader. Andy Reeves is going to be P number 2, Justin Cope in 3rd. Running out your 4-car field on the lead lap is going to be Stoney Benfield. Two is going to get the EOL here. He's going to drop to the rear as he's going to try to get all these laps back as he can as the 6 into pit lane. He's got one more lap. William Martin has been laps down pretty much this whole race and has gotten almost every single lap back but one. So one more caution, you're going to have a top 5 on the lead lap here. William Martin's got a fast car. He's just got to get through all of the chaos. With that being said, Jacob Kaplan on the inside. Andy Reeves on the out. Andy Reeves and then number 24, DuPont Chevrolet, made his way back up to the lead lap and is sitting P number 2. But Jacob Kaplan's got the go-go button. Jacob Kaplan's going to lead these gentlemen back to the green flag, and there he goes off to the races. Jacob Kaplan with a big, humongous lead on P number 2 as they're going to be side by side, the 28-24. 28 down on the inside, 24 on the out. But Justin Cope, or Stoney Benfield, battling nice and hard with the number 2. As the 2 trying to make his way around P number 4. He's able to do so. Now he's going to look at P number 3. Make a little bit of a 2-for-1 before this lap ends. And here comes Mark Sikochi down on the inside. The 24 going to hold strong. Oh, 24 hard on the outside wall. Going to just keep it up there out of everybody's way. And, oh no, what happened to Jacob Kaplan? Jacob Kaplan had some issues. I think Jacob Kaplan got a little bit loose and has lost the race lead. So give the lead up to the number 28 of Justin Cope. Here comes Daniel Molnix. Now, right behind the race leader. Molnix wants to get at least one of those laps back. As here he goes down to the inside, going to follow the number 28 machine. Justin Cope going to try to hold him back behind. William Martin into the wall back there in the back, as you've seen momentarily. Down to the inside goes the number 2, as he's not able to clear, but now he may be able to. Coming off turn number 2, he does. So now Molnick's 8 laps down. He's got to do that 8 more times and he'll be on the lead lap. Stony Benfield hanging strong with the number 28. But he's got that 8 machine of Mark Sikochi. Mark Sikochi's not letting him get up there, get that good run that he needs. As now he's going to move up. But Stony Benfield still using that inside as the 24 get a little bit loose coming off the corner. As he's going to be able to regain his momentum here. Stony Benfield under a 1/10 of a second. Now it's up to 2/10 of a second. Stony Benfield looking for the lead of this race, as we have crossed over the 3:09 mark and we're almost home at Bristol. While these drivers are out here running the track, we're going to go ahead and mute the mics one more time. Give my voice a little bit of a rest, and we'll be right back with a "you love to hear it." we are back with the live action racing as Stony Benfield was able to get around the number 8 machine there of Mark Sikochi. He has fallen back, but Stony Benfield has caught back up to Justin Cope, and he is trying to make his way back up here. Going to bring up a special guest in the broadcast booth. That's going to be the number 35 of Alexander Encarnacio. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
What's happening, man? Watching this race right now.
Yeah, I'm watching it too. You know, see you out there racing a little bit earlier. You had a pretty fast hot rod out there, and then just had a couple of incidents out there on the track, kind of ruined your car there.
Yeah, I had 3 minutes of damage there, so I figured might as well park it rather than limp around.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've had a strong start to the season. Had a few races did not go your way, but nonetheless, you still show up. You try to finish the races when you can. It's just lap cars doing lap cars things, and yeah, it's always one thing to catch somebody. It's a total different culture to pass somebody, and I found it out firsthand, especially running officials or league races, and you do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. This race for the lead is looking good. I think Stoney's a little bit better on the long run. This is going to... Kaplan's catching them as well, so I think this is going to be a three-way fight for the win here.
Yeah, Kaplan actually got loose. I don't know if he just gave it the beans a little bit too early on the throttle there, but ended up losing all that track position. Well, can't really say track position as there's only 4 cars on the lead lap, but lost all that time on the racetrack, and he has caught back up to these drivers. As Stoney, look at the inside of the number 28 machine, not able to get that nose inside of Justin Cope. But like you said, yeah, I'm thinking Stony Benfield has that long run car dialed in. Justin's going to use that outside to his advantage, having the run off the top. And Stoney's going to use that inside as, you know, I'm not out there racing the cars like you are, Alex. When you were out there at Bristol, did you want to be out there on the outside or did you want to be on the bottom?
The outside seemed a lot faster, but it really burnt your stuff up. Maybe later in this run, where the outside gets a little more rubbered in, it could be better. It was definitely faster. If someone caught me, I would probably want to go on the high side. It would make it really difficult for them to pass you.
Yeah, I mean, well, Stony Benfield kind of just took the lead from Justin Cope using that inside lane. So,
yeah, I think he was a lot faster.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I'd rather rip the top because, one, you don't have to turn the wheel as much. Yes, you burn a little bit more tire, but it's going to make that guy on the inside overdrive his car 9 times out of 10. He's got to have that wheel pinned down to the inside so he doesn't drift up and collect you in it. And he can't get the drive off that you could on that outside. And I think right now, Justin Cope said, you know what, I don't want to battle this early. It's still kind of early, you know, still 150 laps left in the race. Don't want to get caught up battling, wrecking each other. You want to see this go all the way to the end. As Jacob Kaplan, like you said, now we're in a 3-car fight. As Jacob Kaplan making a move on P number 2.
Yeah, I think Kaplan cars tuned a lot looser. This track seemed, at least for me, to tighten up the longer and longer you went. And I could see those guys who were tight starting to fall off real hard.
Yeah, Kaplan led a bunch of this race, had a few miscalculations on getting into a corner, roasting the rear tires, had to get them settled back down, but is now fighting for the race lead here once again. And Stony Benfield leading his first laps of tonight. And it's only a matter of time before that 44 makes a move on that number 75. And I think, honestly, with the 75 and how gracious he is, I feel like if the 44 gets underneath of him, he'll just move out of the way and let him go, as the 44 looking to the inside and Stoney giving him all the room he could ever want.
Yeah, I'm really surprised the 75 gave the 44 the bottom there, giving him clean air to wrap that bottom. His same lane the 75 used to pass Justin Cope. So I found that a little strange. I would have probably just hugged that apron and make him work hard for it.
Yeah, I mean, he still is making him work hard for it. He's not giving him the position completely. He's holding strong on that outside, but it's only a matter of time before, okay, you know what, we're just racing each other a little bit too hard. We're going to burn up our stuff. Let's just follow one by one. But it also comes down to, do I really want that 44 to get around me and go to Gapplebee's? Or do I want to keep this race honest between these two?
Yeah, I think the 75's tires are going to get hot here, and within probably 2 or 3 laps, I think Kaplan's going to pull away pretty quickly here.
Yeah, Kaplan still rolling that bottom. It seems like Kaplan's a little bit more confident on that inside. Stoney's a little bit more confident on that outside. So that's another thing that I like to do, especially in any league race. I practice the inside, I practice the outside, I practice with the car in front of me, a car behind me, see how far I can dive the car in on a long run, a short run, see how the brakes and the tires feel after both stints of what I'm doing. So you get a feel for how your car is going to react no matter what part of the track you're on. And a lot of people just want to go balls to the wall down to the inside, but sometimes, like let's say if I'm out there racing with you, Alex, I only practice the inside lane and you took the inside lane for me. I don't know what my car's going to do on that outside, so it's always a good practice to run the middle, run the bottom, run the top. No matter what, you want to try and practice all 3 lanes on a racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, you could practice 1,000 laps by yourself, and the car be completely different when you get to race time, because you're never in the preferred lane you're going to want to be. You're always in dirty air, so there's a lot of variables that can change.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As like you said, Jacob Kaplan took the lead in his now checked out to a point, or a 8/10. Oh my goodness, I can't even talk. Almost a second lead. There we go. We'll just call it almost a second. But now Justin Cope, he's wrapping the bottom. Looked like Stoney got a little bit loose on that inside. So maybe, like you said, his tires got a little bit hot. He didn't like the way that the car felt down on the inside. He's going to move up the track and try to keep that distance between him and the 28.
Yeah, the tires are about 70 laps old here. So honestly, the 28's holding on a lot stronger than I thought he would. He could have spent a few laps just kind of babying those tires, let the temps go down, because he looks to have decent speed, and his lap times are right there with Kaplan.
Yeah, I haven't been able... Okay, here we go. Now we can look at... So, Kaplan's last lap was a 2:48. Cope's was a 2:05. So, they're pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah.
Stoney running a 16.4. So... 0.2 of a difference there between first, second, and third.
Yeah, Cope's got the dirty air, and he's still running those good lap times. I would be scared if I was Kaplan. I thought once Kaplan passed him, he would say, see ya, and never see him again. But I think Cope's going to end up catching him here. He was 0.2 faster that last lap.
Yeah, Cope now putting on all the pressure on the back bumper of that number 75. Just not able to capitalize on the move yet. You see here, Stoney Benfield has moved down to the inside to protect that inside now. And now he's really playing a big defensive lane. Car's starting to step out just a little bit, but able to keep that number 28 at bay. Now Stoney goes up to the outside, Cope down to the inside. Move Cope up to P number 2 into turn number 1.
Yeah, I think Kaplan might be running a little bit too high here, and I do think it's adding a needed heat to those tires. I see Cope passing them here before they have green flag pit stops.
Yeah, now you got to put into perspective. You got the 5 back on the back bumper of the number 75, and you have the 8 starting to close in too. You've seen how aggressive the 5 has been on entry. So now, yeah, Stoney went to the outside thinking Wiggins was going to go down to the inside. That wasn't the case. Now Wiggins going to be able to get around the number 75, and just looking from the gearbox of the number 28, the 75 is starting to fall off pace here quite a bit.
Yeah, I think running the top all those laps probably put that wear on his tires. When I did early in that run, it was like night and day difference. It absolutely killed my tires. I ran the bottom the second run, and the car was so much better, and I was able to hold my lead.
Yeah, that's what I got to talking about on the broadcast. You know, we seen you go from, oh, I don't know, like P12 all the way up to P1 in like 5 laps. Like, yeah, those tires, they're going to be screaming at you there, but I don't know if I would have done that. And, you know, like you said, the first stint that you had, 47 laps, you got the lead, and then as quick as you got it, you lost it. That second run, you started running the bottom, and you could actually start to check out. And, you know, granted, this league you get as many tire sets as you want, but you kind of want to see what your tire stints could be after a long run.
Yeah, I think coming here, it looks like Cope's just about half a tenth quicker than Kaplan here. It'll be interesting to see how the 5 gets around the 44. A lot of incidents around this 5 car. Looks like he's going to be clean, go through the bottom.
Yeah, the 5 getting around the number 44. The 44, just letting him go. He knows he's not for position. Just let him go run his race. It's bye-bye, see you later, is Kaplan. He's got that bottom line pretty much hooked up. Me, personally, I like running the outside, so I'll be up there pretty much the whole time, as much as my tires allow it. Now, the 6 gets into the wall in front of the race leader. He's going to keep it up high, let the 44 go on by. And William Martin's going to go another lap down, as he was on the lead lap and has lost the 2 laps in this long green flag run.
In the last 5 laps, Cope's caught up 4 tenths. He looks a little loose, though. I see him on entry, kick that right rear out a little bit. And I bet you Kaplan's getting a little tight here, and that's what's holding him up.
Yeah, it could be a mirage of a lot of things. Cope, you know, Cope's catching the lap traffic at the worst possible time in the corners. You can't get that wide arc in. You can't get the arc out. So he's got to keep it kind of pinned. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but now he's going to start gaining that time as he got around the number 6. So now you got a 1.4 second gap between second and first as William Martin goes back into the race wall. And that's going to allow Mark Sikochi to get around him. And now Daniel Mulnix is caught up to the back bumper of the number 75, trying to get his laps back.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast that 2 car is, even with all that damage.
Yeah, I mean, the dude was absolutely ripping around this racetrack, and that early caution with the number 5 kind of ruined his chances at a good top 3 finish here tonight, even possibly the win, because that man had that 2 car on rails. And
yeah, this is.
Go ahead.
This is one of those tracks where, you know, talent can be more important than the car. So even with all that damage, you know, Daniel knows how to get around this track, so he's using that to his advantage.
Yeah, he most definitely is. You know, a lot of people have their favorite racetracks. Me, personally, mine's Rockingham, Indianapolis just because that's my home track. I have a lot of laps around there. And then, you know, my favorite car has got to be the 87. Any track the 87 goes to, count me in. I'm going to be there. As we have a caution on the track, it's going to be for the number 24 as Andy Reeves goes around. And we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay. Going into turn number 1 and 2, it looks like Andy Reeves gets down to the inside. Oh, hard on the outside wall, right in front of the race leader. Jacob Kaplan able to get around the number 24, but not something you really want to see. And I think we may not have to see green flag pit stops now, or are we going to have to?
Yeah. The fuel window should be about 140 laps, so I think they'll be good. I was gonna say they're just about to pit soon, but this caution came out at a time where I don't think we'll see anyone pitting. I don't think there's any advantage. You could try to split this last section, but I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, so you're a racer here in NSR. Let's say you're in this race right now and you're going to go for the race win. You're on lap 388, so you got 120 laps, give or take, to get back to the front. Do you take your time, save those tires, or do you try to bum rush your way to the front, rip that inside lane, get as much of a lead as you possibly can, and see if you can hold off the guys that potentially save their tires?
I think if you're Kaplan here, you kind of have to manage your lead. You know, don't get out too far. Don't burn up those tires in the first 30 laps. It's crucial. if you're Justin or Stoney, I mean, I think Justin has the speed to keep up with Kaplan anyway. I think Stoney, if he needed to make some adjustments this pit, looked like he was tight. I would try to, see if he could loosen that up. If he made adjustments, just keep up with the 28. As long as you're keeping up with the 28, I think he'll be in a good position.
Yeah, I think that's where it would have to lie. Me, I'm big on saving tires and, driving the car a little babyish, I guess you could say. I just want to be there at the end of the race. And, full distance races, it kind of plays a little bit of a mental game on you. You're like, okay, 500 laps. Okay, yeah, I could do that. Wait a minute, it's 500. These laps are going to tick away kind of slowly. But with it being Bristol and only a half mile, these laps have went by fairly quickly. As actually we have 110 laps to go. As I can't math, even though, I do math all day at work. So that's something to note here.
You're burnt out. That's all it is.
I am. 10-hour day yesterday, 8 hours today, 8 hours tomorrow. And then I go on vacation next Friday, so it's all good.
Just keep your eyes on the light at the end of the tunnel. That vacation's coming, baby.
yeah. Lake Erie walleye is all I'm thinking about right now. Can't wait to go out there and get those fish. As looks like the 5 is going to be able to get waved around the pace car as he elected to stay out, I do believe. So he's going to get one of those laps back. And now you got the 2 and the 5 pretty much together.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because 28 starting on the outside, and I think the outside is the faster way around here. So depending on how hard he throws in 1 and 2, I think he could pass Kaplan or stay right there with him. This will be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to, can the 28 time the jump? As the 44 and 28 going to be side by side. Kaplan going to get a better jump than the 28. He's going to clear him going into turn number 1. And he's going to chop the nose. Well, not really chop the nose of the 2, but look at that. All over the back bumper of the number 44. And they're still going to be nose to tail as Kaplan trying to get away from the number 28, but not going to be able to. And there comes the number 8 on the outside of the number 28.
Yeah, 28 got loose on the bottom there. That was scary. Mark's got a fast car. I know he's a few laps down, but he has a chance to get these laps back. If these cautions fall at certain times, he's only -3 laps down. He has a fast car.
Yeah, you just seen how quickly Mark went from the outside lane and all the way back around the race leader. Without, it just didn't even look like it phased him that much. And look at that, all 3 cars nose to tail now. As they're all, Kaplan running 15.6s, and then you got Cope and Stoney running 15.4s. Stoney down to the inside of the number 28. I think right now Stoney said, you know what, I'm going balls to the wall here. He's going to hope for another caution. As cautions breed cautions, and he's going to rip the outside once again, going for the race lead. Kaplan's just going to let him have it.
Yeah, if he can stay up front and get this clean air and conserve his tires, he'll be looking good here. I think Kaplan does have the faster car, and I think he does want to save his tires here. I'm pretty surprised that 75 still sticking to the top even after passing Kaplan.
Yeah, he's still going to stick it up to the top, going to run the middle there. Well, no, not really the middle. He's trying to get that high arc and just dive it down to the inside. And I feel like, you enter high and you just kind of chop the wheel down to the inside. You're going to burn a little bit more tire. Pretty sure if I was in the race car, I wouldn't want to do that just because I could hear the front tires just screaming at me. Then that, obviously as a racer, Alex.
It's never good.
Yeah, that's never good. Never good. And
look at it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, look at the 2 car trying to get his lap back, too.
Yeah, telling you, if Daniel Molnix can get all these laps back, he's only 9 laps down. With 99 laps to go, we could see a couple more cautions. I don't think we'll see all 9. But Mark Sikochi has absolutely gapped the field. And, if he can keep that pace for another 3 laps to get those laps back, he could be looking pretty good.
Yeah, his lap times are still like 2/10 faster than the leaders. So I mean, if he can keep up that pace, obviously this is looking good for him to get at least a few laps back onto green. But I just don't see that pace continuing on these long runs. I think he's really using up his tires here.
Yeah, it's one thing to bum rush like that, but you also got to look at the longness of the races. It looked like Cope got a little bit tight coming out of turn number 4. Almost hits that outside wall, but keeps it off of it. He's got a little bit of scrapage on that number 28 machine getting into the wall. And Kaplan just absolutely ripping that inside. And I think Stoney's going to start ripping the inside. No, he's going to keep it up on that high side.
Yeah, I think the 44 is going to end up passing the 75. This looks very similar to the last run we had.
Yeah, you know, if I was Stoney and I was looking in my rearview mirror, I'd look and see where the 44 was running, and I'd have tried to do the same thing. Kaplan's starting to move up the track just a little bit on entry, but, you know, he's not going from the top all the way down to the bottom, so he's not going to burn a lot more tire wear. But he's also kind of using that draft, kind of not getting that nose clean air. And, yeah, just like you said, the last stint that we had when Stoney got the lead, it's going to end up happening again as he's keeping him within shot. So about 2 to 3/10 of a second behind Stoney Benfield. But he's, you know, playing the long game. He's playing the conservativeness. Same with Justin Cope. Justin Cope has fallen off to almost a second back on the 2 race leaders. So I wonder if Cope is out there listening and watching along and seeing if he can do the same thing.
Yeah, Cope here. I think he's hoping the 75 and the 44 race each other real hard. You know, if they're top and bottom side by side for a few laps, you can really burn up your stuff, and then Cope will end up, you know, catching up to them. I think he was the fastest car last run, so I wouldn't count him out right now, only being 1.3 behind the leader.
Yeah, right now Justin Cope running 14.6s. The leaders running 14.4 or 15.4s. Excuse me. If they're running 14s, I'm in the wrong business over here. But yeah, these 2 leaders running 3/10 quicker than third place. He's running 14 or 15.7s, so there's another 15.4, and there's another 15.4 by the number 28. So now he's starting to pick up his pace a little bit. He doesn't want to fall back too much. And, you know, there's a lot of give and take, especially, you know, you want to save tires, but you want to stay up with the field. Run a few laps hard, back it off. Run a few laps hard, back it off. Kind of play cat and mouse. Make them think that, okay, yeah, you know what, I burned up my stuff. I can easily not get back up there. And then all of a sudden, you look back in your mirror, he's right back on your back bumper.
Yeah, I think Kaplan right here, sticking as low to the apron as possible has really benefited him. Ever since Stoney went to the bottom, though, Kaplan really hasn't gained on him. And we were talking about Mark earlier, burning up his tires. He's running the same laps that the leaders are right now. So if he can maintain this distance and get a caution, I think he'll be able to get another lap back. He'll only be 2 back.
Yeah, so far he's got to be able to get around that number 6 machine 2 times and battle for the P number 4. If he can do that, he'll be all right. But look at the gap now. 0.1 of a second. Stoney Benfield has a mirror full of Jacob Kaplan as they're both running the inside, but Kaplan seems to roll the center better than what the number 75 can. As we're going to look on board off the gearbox of the number 75 and look at the center exit of that number 44, getting it all the way down to that apron and keeping it pinned like you said earlier. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup. Loose. Yeah, a little bit of a hiccup from that number 44, but it's okay. He had a little bit of a hiccup earlier and was able to catch the pack, and there they go. They're going to go around the number 5. The 5 is going to move out of the way, and they're still going to be racing for the race lead.
Yeah, this dirty air is not helping the 44. I think this is one of those times where you maybe spend 2 or 3 laps on the outside getting a pass done on the 75 because Kaplan looks loose here, but he's so good. Right on exit, he stays just about 3 feet lower, and I really think it helps that 44 car put clean air on the nose.
Oh, look at
Here
that.
he comes.
There it is. Gonna move.
Oh, he's loose in.
Oh, he's still loose. Oh my God, what a save!
He gathered it back.
What a save! If there's a top 10 reel for saves, just for Bristol, all top 10 would be Jacob Kaplan. Every time I've seen him get loose, he drifts, Tokyo drifts this place, and is able to keep it, you know, without hitting the wall, making contact with other vehicles. But his chase speed, oh man, it's just like JJ's arm drop. You know, chase is a race. Yeah, okay. Take the hit. I'm gonna chase you down. And that's exactly what Jacob Kaplan's doing here tonight.
Yeah, even Stoney's a little loose here. He just got into the wall a little bit. I see him sideways. Now, if I'm Kaplan and I see that, I want to get right up to Stoney's rear spoiler, make that situation worse. Here he comes on the inside.
Down to the inside, he's going to move him up high. Stoney Benfield up on the outside. Jacob Kaplan to the inside. Kaplan going to be able to take that race lead back.
Yeah, I'm surprised how quick that happened. I thought Stoney would give up more of a fight there.
I think he realized after that first run, like, you know, hey, I looked at my tires. Maybe I don't want to do that. As we're counting down 75 laps to go here tonight at Bristol, as Justin Cope has fallen back to a 2-second lead or gap, and Daniel Modix has gotten around Justin Cope.
Yeah, we still have 73 laps left, so I mean, Justin could be playing the real long game here and just keeping himself, you know, within a few seconds of the leaders, saving those tires. Unless maybe he didn't make adjustments. Kaplan and Benfield might be keeping up with the track better that last pit stop.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on, especially with the number 28 machine. Daniel Monix, though, trying to do what he can do. Try to be like Mark Sakochi, burst through the field, see what he can do. Kaplan, triple sixes, something that you don't really want to see on your timing screen there. And then a 7:03 by Stoney, and then an 8:49 by Justin Cope. So everybody running a little bit slower than what they were running earlier, as Brian Wiggins comes back out on track after making his final pit stop.
Yeah, we're going to see probably another 5 or 6 tenths of fall off. So if Cope is saving tires, I mean, he does have time, you know, but he'll start have to clicking off some good laps within the next 15 to 20 laps in order to catch the top 2.
Yeah, Kaplan's still running 6s. Stoney's running 7s, and then Cope's running 9s. So the fall off is there. Now they're both running 8s, while Stoney's running a little bit faster than the race leader. But, you know, he's keeping them down to a second. But I've noticed Stoney's got a good short run car. He bursts his way to the front, but now he's got to try to cool those tires down from making his way to the front, kind of running that top lane. Guys got to start running that bottom lane, catch Cope or Kaplan, and see if he just can't make that pass yet again. As you know, now Stoney's running kind of bottom, but I don't think he's got enough in that number 75 machine to catch Kaplan as of right now.
Yeah, right about now, Dylan, the laps of Justin are starting to even out with the leaders. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts gaining half a tenth here and there coming in these laps. But I think running that bottom line that Kaplan is, it's going to be tough for Stoney to pass him here. Stoney's probably going to have to run higher up the track. And I don't think he wants to. I think he knows he has to stick to the bottom here because we still have 64 laps to go.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to lap traffic, too. You want to try and catch lap traffic kind of, I don't know, probably middle of the backstretch and get underneath of them going into a corner, and hopefully they lift and let you on by, as the 24 does that for the 75 and the 44. So it's definitely going to be something to pay attention to on when they catch up to the 8, which has fallen off drastically. And he's in the 16-second lap times, and Jacob Kaplan is coming around to give him another lap down.
Yeah, Kaplan's been about 10th quicker than Stoney Benfield right there. But this is one of those consequences of running those early laps hard, is the fall off. Oh, here we go. We got a caution.
Have another caution. It's going to be for the number 24. once again, and we're going to go ahead and jump on over to a CRN replay to see what happened to the unlucky driver. Gets up and Daniel Molnick's into the left rear of the number 24. Thought he was going to be clear, kept it to the outside, and it just caught the 24 in a bad spot. Going to go ahead and watch it from the nose camera of the number 2. Yeah, the 2 didn't. I mean, the 24 seen the 2 with that run could have moved down, but he kind of moved up in front of the 2 ever so slightly and caused that caution.
Yeah, I don't know if the 2 misjudged that, because I don't think those 2 cars had problems with each other, so I don't think that was intentional. I think the 24 just didn't expect the 2 to catch him that quick, and then I think the 2 just misjudged that just a little bit. But here we go with a short run, only 59 laps. This I think is playing out into Stoney's hands. To me, he seems the fastest on those short runs. He was able to get the lead there for quite a few laps. If he can just repeat that, I think he's going to be looking good here. I'd be worried if I was Kaplan.
Yeah, I think if Stoney can get the race lead back, but stay on the bottom like Kaplan was and not running the outside for the first couple laps, it would definitely be hard for Kaplan to capitalize on that pass. But with Stoney running the outside, diving it down to the inside, like I said earlier, he's going to burn a little bit more tire wear, where Kaplan running the complete inside, able to save a little bit more stuff. And this gives everybody a chance to reset, get their mind right, see what they did wrong in that last stint, and to see what the 44 is doing, because obviously it's working for him. Maybe they want to try to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, let's not forget, we have another new car on the lead lap. I mean, this is huge for William, who's just kind of hung in there. He was -2, went down to -1, and now he's on the lead lap. So this isn't a 3-man battle anymore. We've got 4 cars that could win this thing right now.
Yeah, if there's ever a definition of beaten and battered, it'll be that number 6 machine, as that whole front end and the rear end's having a little bit of a tough time there.
Yeah,
I think
the 6, the 2, and the 44 are all the same car, same setup. So, and we see how banged up the 2 is, and he's kept his speed. So I don't see why William couldn't either. I haven't noticed any speed taken out of Daniel's.
Oh yeah, no, Daniel's speed has been on a par the whole night. He's been up there towards the front and got put a couple laps down, but it's going to come down to tire management. It's going to come down to making the runs at the correct time, and it's going to be like you said, it's going to be a 4-car battle to the race win, as Kaplan down to the inside. He's going to get the great launch, going to go straight to the outside. The 28 going to Bennett. Oh, no caution either, as that is going to cause championship implications for the number 28. And he's just now getting that car back on a rolling, as that sucks for the number 28. And now they're in uncharted territory. Got to use that outside lane to get around that number 28 machine. Stoney, no failure to that outside. He likes running it, but look how quickly he dives back down to the bottom. Oh, the 5! What? The 5 just got right hooked. We're going to go back and see what happened to the number 5. Justin Cope gets a little bit loose. Wiggins dives down. Oh no, he didn't get right hooked. He just spun it. Got a little bit loose, overcorrected, right in front of the 2 and the 24. So those 2 getting involved as well, as Wiggins brings out that caution.
Yeah, it was almost in front of the 28 too. I mean, this is a huge break for Justin Cope. After spinning out, hitting the wall, can come in for repairs. Looks like he's 1 lap down. Much better situation though than what he originally was in right after that accident.
Yeah, Justin Cope going to be able to get that lap back, as he was not part of that caution. He's going to be back in here, so that's going to be another 4-car battle for the race win. And it's just like, Rockingham. Rockingham, we had a few drivers that had miscues on the restarts. They were able to battle back from it. And Rockingham, for one, is one of the hardest tracks to get a perfect restart on. Just with how slick the track is, it's not a tire grabber like most of these tracks are, like Texas, Bristol. Well, you can't really say Bristol, but Daytona. Like, you can't really just mash the gas and go. It's not a plug and play. You got to kind of feed into the throttle, get that car wound up, and to get through the gears. And right there, you've seen the 28 trying to grab gears as quick as he could and just went for a ride.
Yeah, these cars have a lot of power, so it's super easy to spin the tires. But what I think is crazy right now is Stoney pitted for tires, which I think was the right call, but Jacob's still on those old tires. He never pitted.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like, yeah.
Only 4 cars on the lead lap, I think, or actually 3 now that Justin's down. I think pitting there was the play, and I'm surprised Jacob stayed out.
Yeah, I mean, you got 50 laps to go, and, what about 20 lap fresher tires makes a big difference here, give or take. So, Cope didn't go another lap down, so he's still on the lead lap. But it's, oh, man. This race can still go either way. As now William doesn't have to fight through the lap traffic. He's back right behind the race leaders. So now you got the 6 in the loop.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Kaplan with Stoney starting right behind him. I know Mark last run was trying to get past the leader. He was trying to pass Stoney and then go after Kaplan. Had he gotten in front of Kaplan, he would have gotten another lap back. You can't count him out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fight for the finish here. Mark Sakochi, he's going to try to do whatever he possibly can. He's going to throw a monkey wrench in this situation. You're going to see that number 8 go from, respectively, sitting P4, but not really P4. He's going to go from there to in front of the 44 and, get all the way back around and hope for another quick caution, get those laps back. As I don't know, cautions breed cautions. As Kaplan chose the inside. I'm not sure if you had lane choice, but Kaplan chose the inside. Stoney on the outside. They're back to racing here. And already, you've seen the wheel spin from the number 75 machine. Stoney Benfield, as side by side goes the 8 and the 6. The 8 rockets around the number 6. And it looks like Mark Sakochi has a little bit of nitrous in that number 8 machine. Oh, Stoney gets a little bit loose. Yeah,
Mark's gunning for this pass here. He's not going to be he's not going to race the leaders nice. I know he's laps down, but he could get back on the lead lap. I'm surprised Stoney hasn't passed Kaplan, though. It was obvious he was a lot faster in the center with those new tires, but he looks really loose.
Yeah, already, look at that. Justin Cope down to the inside, passing William Martin, 4P number 3. And Kaplan has the number 8 on the outside. The 8's going to make quick work of him. And, with Stoney taking fresh tires, he kind of fell back just a little bit. So it looks like those tires didn't really make that big of a difference.
Yeah, I think as this run goes on, it's more dramatic. Kaplan's tires were cooled off, so I think they had decent grip in the beginning, but I just don't see, no matter how good of a car Jacob has, I think those tires are going to prevail. But now Cope's even catching the leader right now, just about half a tenth.
Yeah, looking on with the number 28. He's, now you see all 3 of them running that inside. It seems like Stoney Benfield has figured it out. Better late than never. William Martin running that middle lane. But it's still Jacob Kaplan out front leading the charge. As Mark Sakochi was able to get one more lap back there. And he'll be the lucky dog recipient. He'll only be 1 lap down if a caution does decide to come out. And already everybody kind of spread out a little bit. So you got about a 10th difference between all the drivers. and it's going to be a little bit harder to get a caution thrown until the leaders start catching lap traffic.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Kaplan here. Pretty much him and Stoney are matching lap times, but the guy who is faster is Cope. He's on his way. I think he'll be on Stoney's back door within 10 laps.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen is, Cope running for his life right now, sitting P3, taking that final podium position. But there's much more at stake. He wants to be a driver in winner's circle. And there he goes. He's trying. He's definitely trying. Doesn't want to burn up the tires too quick, though, as he gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, I know how much Jacob loves this place. He wants to win here more than anything. I know this win would mean a lot to him, but it's not going to come easy.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Nothing ever comes easy, especially in the league races. Stoney has dropped that lead all the way down to 0.3 of a second. And it's still keeping about about 3/10 of a second on, or 1/10, yeah, 3/10 of a second to P3. I give it about 3 to 4 laps and Stoney could have the race lead. It's just, does Stoney want to go to the outside or does he want to try to force Kaplan off that inside?
I think he's going to have to go on the outside, and I think the more he commits to that outside, he'll get around Kaplan here. I don't see Kaplan holding him off for another 33 laps with those 20-lap old tires.
Yeah, I think that's what Kaplan wants Stoney to do. He knows if he gets Stoney, he baits him into using that outside, he's going to burn more tires, and then all of a sudden those tires are going to even out. And then that's going to allow the 28 to catch up, and it's really going to be a 3-man battle as William Martin has fallen off. And look at that, Stoney trying to use that inside to his advantage, not going to be able to be there coming off turn 4.
Yeah, and Dylan, what kind of race is this? This is an old school race. And what was old school Bristol known for? Getting the bump and run, which I think we might see it here. Stoney has gotten close to Kaplan a few times. He seems pretty committed to that bottom. I'm surprised. I wonder if he learned a few things after those last runs. But Cope is still catching. It's about half a tenth every lap.
Yeah, the only thing I can envision is the Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt scenario here. With it being Stoney, I just don't see the bumper being used. I could see maybe a little bit of door banging, but I don't see the bumper. I mean, Stoney's just, I feel like he's got that mentality of, you know what, I kind of want to finish right where I'm at. It was a long race. I'd rather finish where I'm at instead of, finishing where I could be at, You always got to have that type of mindset, especially, if the guy in front of you is faster, you don't want to jeopardize a good finish for both parties.
Yeah, I would say that for every other track, but it's Bristol, baby. I think he wants to win. But you're right. I don't think he's the type to bump Kaplan out of the way. He's probably going to have to work the outside or wait for a mistake by the 44 car. But I hope he looks underneath right here.
He's looking not going to be able to get there, as it looked like he lost a little bit of momentum there. He's going to be able to get it back, but now they're going to catch the 8. What does the 8 do? Does the 8 move out of the way and let these guys battle? Or is it going to be to where Stoney gets the outside, and does Jacob use the 8 as a pick?
I think Mark likes running the outside. I think he's going to give them the bottom, but what will happen is who's going to catch the 8 right on exit? Is it going to pinch Kaplan off or is it going to pinch Stoney? So that'll be interesting once they do pass Mark, because it appears he has fallen off.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to look here. Is now they have 2 lapped cars, the 24 and the 8. The 8's going to move down the racetrack. That's going to slow up Jacob Kaplan, and this is where it's going to get interesting. The 8 goes down to the inside. Now you got to be a little bit patient. You got the 24 on the outside, you got the 8, but how patient do you want to be? The 8's going to move out of the way. He notices that he can get up to the outside, get out of the way, let these drivers finish out this race. As Stoney is right on the back bumper, and Cope is 0.2 quicker than your two front leaders.
Yeah, I think they both caught Mark at a bad spot, so I don't think either one gained or lost any time there. But Stoney's starting to rotate that center just a little bit better. I see he's a little loose. If he can manage that and get a better drive off, I think that's what Kaplan's beating him. I think he would be able to get underneath him and make a pass.
Yeah, I see it there. Just a little loose. But a little loose is a lot of... I don't even know. A little loose is a lot of bad move, as Stoney's still trying to use that inside lane to his advantage, keeping Jacob in his sights once again. But it seems like Jacob Kaplan has the upper angle with the clean air. He's got all the forward momentum he needs. And being the leader, you can set the pace of the race. And that's what Jacob Kaplan's doing. He's setting the pace. He knows what pace he needs to run to keep that 75 in front and behind him. And he doesn't want to change that pace to have the 75 get a good run, as they're pretty much running identical lap times here. As Cope has really fallen off, running 15.9s while the leaders are running 15.6s.
Yeah, I don't know if he made bad adjustments or just didn't make any adjustments. 2 runs ago, I thought he was the fastest car, but you're right, he's about 2 to 3 tenths off a lap. That car has fallen off. But what would it say about Kaplan if he is on 20 lap older tires and holds off Stoney here for the win at Bristol?
Yeah, for me, that would be like, okay, tires really didn't mean much. I mean, you just gotta... I mean, for instance, so I run in the Next Gen League on Monday nights. We just ran Indianapolis. Yes, it's Indianapolis. Ooh, Kaplan into the wall. That could be the opening that Stoney Benfield needed. No, not going to be able to get there. But
yeah,
you go ahead.
I think Stoney just needs more drive off. I'm looking at these exits and Kaplan pulls away. I don't know if it's Stoney's handling or if he's running too long of a gear. But on the exits, Kaplan just pulls away, and that's where Stoney's going to need to make the pass. He's going to need to get underneath or on top, but I think it's going to be on the exit. And Kaplan just looks a little bit better. They're matching lap times, though.
Yeah, 9 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Kaplan keeping that distance up to almost 0.5 of a second, and there it is. Stoney trying to do whatever he possibly can to get to that back bumper and to get around him. Now, is this the point of the run where you just throw the wolves at it and run the outside to see what kind of momentum you can pick up for
Absolutely.
1 lap? Just do a 1 lap. See how much time you lose, because now he's running that inside. He has lost a lot of time running that inside. Does he go to the outside, see what kind of momentum he can have, or is he just kind of content with running P2?
Yeah, I mean, with 7 to go, I would be running on the top lane. It's the fastest lane on the track, without a doubt. And there's not enough laps to burn up your tires, so you might as well. If I'm Stoney here, I'm not going to follow in Kaplan's trail. I'm going to run a different line and see what I can do better, because he's starting to fall off pretty significant here. Kaplan's holding his own and pulling away. Justin Cope, though, is almost half a second off a lap. His car is, I don't know what happened, if he hit the wall or what.
Or maybe that last caution made an adjustment to that race car and made the wrong one. It's definitely something that you got to learn to do and see what the car wants to handle like and what it doesn't want to handle like. So that could be another scenario. I don't think Cope was unfortunate enough to hit the wall, maybe. Or maybe him getting loose a couple of those laps kind of burned off that right rear. He's losing all drive off the corner. But Kaplan now up to a 1.2 second lead over Stoney Benfield.
Yeah, we got 3 laps to go here. I'm almost wondering if Justin got some damage in that spin and actually got some knocked in toe, wearing out his right front probably more than he expects to.
Yeah.
But here we go.
I did forget about that. He did nose it in the wall. Well, we're going to go ahead and ride on the rear chase.
Last lap.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. This is their last lap. Wow, those 9 laps went by pretty quickly. As Jacob Kaplan through turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Jacob Kaplan will be a race winner here at the National Sim Racing Retro Cup Series, as he is going to knock off the RCR combo for the first 4 or 5 races. P number 2 will be Stoney Benfield. Third will be Justin Cope. Fourth, William Martin. Fifth, Mark Sikochi. Sixth, Andy Reeves. Seventh, Daniel Molnix. Eighth, Brian Wiggins. Ninth, Patrick Gettner. 10th, yours truly, Mr. Alexander Encarnacio. At least I got your name right, I think.
Yes.
See?
Good job.
Boom! I got it. 11th, Patrick Stein. 12th is going to be Maddie Clark. And rounding out your 13-car field will be Robert Lorenz. Burn it down, Mr. Jacob Kaplan. You have earned it. 500 miles. 500. No, it's not even 5. I don't know.
250.
Yeah, 250 miles. Yeah, see, I've been saying 500 miles all day. I don't know why. 500 laps, up and down. I don't think Kaplan's ever going to stop. I don't think he's going to stop till those tires blow. Oh, there it goes. It blew.
The engine.
Yep. It was either going to be the engine or the tires, and looks like the engine went before. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the race results. Give you one more rundown of it before we bring in our top 3 to the booth. P number 1 is going to be Jacob Kaplan, and then number 44 machine. Second will be Stoney Benfield in the number 75. Rounding out your top 3 will be Justin Cope in the number 28. Fourth will be William Martin in the number 6 machine. Mark Sikochi is going to round out your top 5. Andy Reeves in P number 6. Daniel Molnix in 7th. Brian Wiggins in 8th. Patrick Gettner in 9th. Alexander Encarnacio in 10th. Patrick Stein in 11th, Matty D. Clark in 12th, and Robert Lawrence rounding out your 13-car field. I'm going to go ahead and rewind this really quickly before we get our top 3 in the broadcast booth. It's been an absolute blast of a race here tonight. As I'm going to go ahead and grab these drivers. Where's Justin Cope? There he is. Justin Cope, this is Dylan and Alexander of the broadcast booth. You got a copy.
I got you.
Oh, somebody seems tired.
Oh, man. Glad for that one to be over.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. But I think, Mr. Alexander, since you're the guest in the broadcast booth, I'll let you go ahead and handle P number 3.
Yeah, congrats, Justin, on a good race. It was mostly clean. What do you think your car needed to get up to Stoney and Jacob there?
I tried loosening it up there. That last caution actually I caused, I think, or I was part of almost, but I loosened it up too much, and I had to go back in and tighten it back up. But if I just had a better roll, it might have been a little bit better on me. But Jacob, man, he was too fast tonight. He had a good set.
Yes, sir. We were almost wondering if the damage knocked off your toe, and it just killed the tires. I thought you had the fastest car there on that third to the last run. You were running the best lap times by a 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good there for a little while, and I don't know, maybe I messed with it too much, just trying to get more out of it than I should have, but I might have hurt it. But here's what it is. Still got top 3 out of it.
All right, Mr. Justin Cope, before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody on that number 28 machine you'd like to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Cody Porter for the set, helping us out all week, getting it dialed in, and thanks Stoney for working with me, and me and him going back and forth, changing stuff, and just thank the guys that actually stuck around.
All right.
And
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here, celebrate that beloved third place position here tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, thanks.
All right, that's going to be our third place finisher of Justin Cope. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the faster pastor. That's going to be Stoney Benfield. Stoney, this is Dylan and Alex in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How you guys doing this evening?
Oh,
Not bad.
I'm doing pretty good up here. It was a long race, but we ended up getting through it. You brought the number 75 home in P number 2, kept it completely clean, stayed out of all the late race drama, the early race drama, all the wickedly fast cautions. Kind of walk us through your race on how everything went for you here tonight.
Well, to start with, man, we Cody Porter, of course, Justin and I have kind of teamed up, and Cody Porter's our builder, set builder, and we've worked all week, and we had 4 different sets to choose from tonight. And I chose the set that was last to the most loose set, and I made a mistake doing that. I was just tight, that's where I could run good on the top, but of course, it burns the tires off quicker. But man, we had just a great race car. We're going to get there one day. We're going to get the checker. It's going to come. I promise you.
Yeah, you had an absolute phenomenal race here tonight. You had everybody in the YouTube chat standing in their living rooms, watching the race, cheering you on. And you finished very well here tonight. I brought you in earlier to give us your invocation. You brought it home P number 2. You can't be too mad about it. I mean, I believe you probably finished with a 0x. You finished on the lead lap. You led some laps. How's that going to create the momentum going towards the rest of the season?
Well, really, we're getting better every week. I mean, the sets are getting better, and I probably practiced 700 laps this week just preparing for this race. This is my favorite league that I run in because it's full length, it's open sets, and we're going to get there, man. We just got to keep working. And I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor. And I'll give you a verse real quick. I'm not going to grow weary in well-doing, for in due season I'm going to reap, because we'll keep sowing to the right thing and doing the right things. It's going to happen.
Yes, sir. I do believe you will be in victory lane quite often once you guys get those setups dialed in. It's always fun to watch you come out here, represent the number 75 camp. And Stoney, before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody want to give a shout out to on that number 75 machine?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to praise my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that saved me and changed my life and rescued me from just an absolute destructive life. And so I thank him. And then I thank Cody Porter for building our sets. I thank our church friends that are so faithful to support and watch. And we text back and forth during the race. And so I'm thankful for them. And I'm thankful for NC811.org, which is my sponsor, that helps me. And hey, I want to thank you guys for doing a great broadcast and having something that people really want to view. So I think we had a good night. I'm satisfied, and we'll go on to the next week.
I appreciate that, Stoney. I just wanted to say, I think you might be the only car there without a single dent or scratch.
Yeah, we, I had a 0X. I tried to just take care of my stuff, and, I'm representing Morgan Shepherd in this Remington car, and Morgan and I are good friends. I saw him the other week, and Morgan would always say, the main thing is just take care of your stuff and be patient and let the car and the track come to you. And so that's what I did tonight. I learned a bunch of that stuff from him, just him talking to him. And his wife, Cindy, is watching the broadcast tonight. She's been texting back and forth. So, Morgan's got Parkinson's, and I just want to honor him and with this paint scheme for his years of racing. And I think he should have been in the top 75 of the greatest drivers myself. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, that's the people I'd like to give a big shout out to, guys. Thank you so much for a great broadcast.
Thank you.
All right, Stoney, we're going to go ahead and let you settle on down and get that second place victory here tonight. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Thank you, sir.
All right, this is going to be our second place finisher of Stoney Benfield. Going to go ahead and bring up the race winner. That's going to be the number 44 of Jacob Kaplan. Jacob, this is Dylan and Alex in the broadcast booth. You get a copy.
Yeah, I got you. Loud and clear.
All right, Jacob. I did the second place interview. Alex did the third place interview. It's only fair I let Alexander take away our race winner here tonight.
Jacob, buddy, you won it.
I know. It feels good, man.
I told you I'd be in the broadcast one way or the other. Top 3 or, just sneak my way in here.
I know. Patrick was telling me you were in here for the last like 150 laps. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, me and Dylan have just been kicking it, just watching the race. So congrats on winning Bristol, man. And how do you like the race?
I liked it. It was fun. The car was a little loose in the beginning of the runs when I had cold tires and kind of screwed myself like 3 times. When I was up front, I had to go to the back and race my way back up to the front. But after about 30 laps, oh man, this car was a rocket.
Yeah, man, you had 20 lap older tires on that last run and were still able to gap Stoney. That was a good fight you put. Me and Dylan were betting against you, to be honest.
Yeah, I heard Patrick was telling me that you said that, so I had to prove you wrong. But no, for real.
Okay.
No, for real. I knew I was better on older tires than fresher tires. I don't know. Like, it just felt good.
Yeah, there might be something wrong with whoever built that car. I mean, they clearly can't build a fast car.
I mean, yeah, whoever did it, they can't build a short run car, that's for sure. I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah, congrats, Jacob. I don't know the normal flow of this, Dylan, so I'm going to let you take over. I don't know what to say next.
All right, Jacob. So we've seen you take over the lead, get a little bit loose going into a corner, save every single one of them, especially late in the run. We've seen you get a little bit loose down on the inside, lose those positions. Granted, it was only 2 with everybody else being multiple laps down, but you tracked down the 75 and the 28 once again and flew by them like they were sitting still. Was that kind of like a confidence booster in your head, knowing that you had a car capable of getting all the way up there?
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew once I got loose. I got to give a shout out to my teammate Patrick, by the way. For the last 200 laps, he was in my ear the whole time, keeping me calm. So when I did get loose, I usually get frustrated, but tonight, no, he was in my ear keeping me calm. So he was telling me the lap times and how I was catching them, and yeah, it did build confidence. I knew I was fast on a long run, and I didn't think I would catch them and make them look like they were standing still there, but it really did feel good when it happened, though.
Yeah, it definitely always feels good. I'm the same way. I get frustrated super easily, and that's kind of the racing nature of it. But now you can officially say that you took down the RCR camp for the first time this season. Are we going to see the number 44 or any other machine up there towards the front and possibly winning more of these races?
I sure hope so, but we got to admit the 3 car wasn't here and the 31 had problems early on, so it was unfortunate because I did want to beat them, during a full race. But I hope next week we can keep this going, keep the momentum going, and get another win with all them in the field.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something fun to watch here. And Jacob, before we let you get on out here, is there anybody on that number 44 machine you'd like to give a shout out to?
For sure. I'd like to give a shout out to, once again, my teammate Patrick Gentner, the 45 car. He was in my ear the last 200 laps, helping me with strategy and lap times and keeping me calm. And I'd like to thank the man that's been sitting with you for the last 200 laps, Alex, for building my setup. He gave me a rocket tonight. And I'd like to thank everyone out there watching, and I saw the comments that, people were cheering for me. So thank you for that. And thank you, Dylan, for what you do. You're doing a great job.
All right, thank you, Jacob, for those kind words for CRN, and we're going to go ahead and let you dabble on with that race win here tonight. You blew it up for the viewers out there tonight. I told Alex it was either going to be the tires or the motor, and it happened to be the motor before the tires. So, well-deserved win here tonight. You had the most biggest supporter out there that has been following CRN since CRN started. That's Barry Kistler. Barry Kistler, it's either going to go with the 3 car or the 44. And since, the 3 car wasn't here, he went with you.
Yeah, I like to thank him too. Thank you, Barry. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate your support.
All right, Jacob, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here, and we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, man. I hope so. Yeah. Thanks again.
Yep.
Have a good one.
All right, that's going to do it for the top 3 interviews here tonight. That's going to do it for the race as well. That was an adventure. It was fun. It's past my bedtime. But make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night as I bring you live coverage at Core Racing Premier Series as they get ready to do battle for the last race in the playoffs, or second to last race in the playoffs with the SRFs at Darlington. That's going to be broadcasted by me at 9:45 Eastern on a CRN. Monday night, I won't be in the broadcast booth. I'll be racing in a different league on Monday night in the next gen. So you're going to catch Carl Hedwerk and Terry Jansen in the broadcast booth for the Core GT Series as they get ready to wind down their season over on CRN. It's definitely going to be a great show. You're going to have GTEs, GT3s, GR86s all out on the track all at the same time. It's a really fun league. Definitely fun to be around those type of drivers. Tuesday night, you're going to have John Nobinger and Ricky Gonzalez back up in the broadcast booth for the Core ARCA Menard Series and the truck race. I'll be down in the ARCA car and the trucks, so I won't be up in the broadcast booth with those two drivers. UCRL is off for this week, so you won't have a broadcast from Carl and Jimmy Covert for the 87 series on that. Wednesday night, no broadcast for CRN on Wednesday night as the Shane Super Late Model Showdown has officially ended. Jeffrey Radke was able to capitalize on that championship, winning 4 out of 6 races. So Jeff Radke was your season championship. Thursday night, you're going to have Carl Handwerk and you're going to have Jimmy Covert in the broadcast booth as I get down in an 87 on Legacy Charlotte for the the CRN Coke 300, sponsored by Skyla Sullivan. I forget what it is, but it's sponsored by Skyla Sullivan. 200 laps at Legacy Charlotte, 5 tire sets, fixed setups, 50% fuel, money to the race winner, money to the every lap. It's going to be a great race. Make sure you guys tune in Thursday night as Carl and Jimmy Covert will bring you that live coverage. I'll be down on the track trying to get another win in an 87 car, especially at Charlotte. Friday night, you're going to have the Red Line Racing with Carl Hedwerk and Mark Thomas in the broadcast booth for another Gen 4 league. And then you're back here Saturday night, possibly with John Nobinger, as I may be at Lake Erie for that day, depending on weather. Be up at Lake Erie. You might have John Nobinger in the broadcast booth as the NSR comes back for race number 6 or 7. That's going to do the rest of the week for CRN. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Can't thank everybody enough out there watching. Alex, thank you for coming up in the broadcast booth with me here tonight. It was fun having you up here. Hopefully we get to talk to you on different circumstances, like getting a race win or getting in the podium. But nonetheless, you still got it up there.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. It was cool you letting me do this with you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. It kind of let my throat heal a little bit from talking a lot, and I could do it by myself, but sometimes I got to mute the mic, take a little bit of a drink, come back. But still a great fun adventure. Bristol, 500 laps, got it knocked out. Now we're on to bigger and better things. Hopefully we get the attendance sheet up there. But that's going to do it for myself and Alex in the booth. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.